Broads Media.
I woke up a little later than I wanted to this morning, but the second I saw the fucking clock on my phone, I realized, get your ass up, get your ass in the studio. You got a fucking dub to talk about. You got a fucking 6-2 victory over the Tampa Bay Lightning to talk about. You got Bobby Brink to talk about. You got Sean Walker to talk about. You got Travis Sanheim, Shanny, to talk about as he lights the lamp too. What a dub. Short-handed, right? No Travis Konechny. No Jamie Drysdale. We did get a pretty decent update on Drysdale. Not that it's great news, but week to week, I just expected the worst because of the way that he was hurt when it all happened against Pittsburgh. It didn't look good. There's more optimism today in my mind than there was the moment it happened. So for whatever that's worth, right? I mean, it's not let's throw a parade, hey, he's going to be back soon type of deal, but I just expected the worst case scenario, and I think it's at least better than that. But what a victory. You needed that win. You did. Over the weekend, you go 0-2. Cal Peterson sucks. The Rangers game could have been yours if Sean Couturier didn't miss a wide open net with just a little bit of time left. But even through the power outage, 9-minute delay, those first two periods, though, woof. What was the word I used to describe it? Oh, it was a drag. That's the word I wrote down in my notes. What a drag those first 40 minutes were. Except for when Bobby Brink enters the zone, picks a corner. Ew, Bobby Brink! He returns to the lineup. Bobby Brink enters the zone and finds Twine. I'm a big Bobby Brink fan. You know what I always say, right? It goes Bobby Brink, Alex Ovechkin, Wayne Gretzky in regards to goal scoring, and I've never told a lie. Listen, we are on a mission here to continue growing Broads Media in every way possible. So, if you're enjoying this, make sure you subscribe and leave a thumbs up. But really, we have more Broads Media content coming your way. Coffee with Broads is back starting March 28th, which is opening day. Join the Broads Media membership here on YouTube for $4.99 a month, and you will have access to Coffee with Broads live streams every Monday and Thursday at 11 a.m. It'll be laid back, super chill, and very interactive with the chat. There's also a Broads Media Discord channel that is currently active right now, where we will communicate live when games are going on, talking about all the action in real time. Nothing is changing with the current pods and the current model. It's just if you want some added bonus. And I'm looking forward to starting Coffee with Broads live streams again March 28th. And make sure, if interested, you grab your membership today. The information is down below in the description. What you can't do is allow Nick Paul to be wide open to unleash a one-timer 3 feet in front of Erson. It's not going to end well if that's the case. So when it's 1-0 and you're trying to survive and you don't know how the rest of this game's going to play out because it was a wonky one. It was strange as can be. There was no flow. There was no momentum. It felt off. I don't really know what word other than drag to use, but it was bizarre, right? And you just don't know. So when you go up 1-0, hey, it's hard to ask to shut out the Tampa Bay Lightning. They do have Steven Stamkos. They do have Nikita Kucherov. They have a lot of people. Nikita Kucherov. Why did that sound weird when I said it? Anyway, they got a lot of talent. Hey, you got to put up a goose egg, Erson, when you're up 1-0 because of Bobby Brink. That's not what I'm asking, but I'm asking to not allow Nick Paul to just unleash one 4 feet in front of him because he's going to tie the game up. But luckily, the Flyer superstar Tyson Forster is ballsy because he enters the zone. He puts it in between his own legs, throws it backhand, and finds it short side underneath the blocker. What? Okay. Look, the fact that you have the confidence to even attempt that and pull that off is step number one. Because there are plenty of individuals out there, especially a young kid, getting thrown into the NHL and playing under John Tortorella. You always want to do the right things. You always want to make the right plays, right? I'm just saying, could you imagine playing for Torts? You got Torts with an arm sling going, right? He looks like a bird with one wing broken, so he's out there just leading away with his surgery and all, still going to the bar, and it won't stop him. So here he is behind the bench, and you can't make mistakes. And here's Forster coming in the zone, putting it in between his own legs and ripping it backhand, let alone the execution. I'm just talking about the mentality. All right, the fact that he has that in his wheelhouse, that's in his mind. This kid's starting to light the lamp a little bit more. All right, he struggled. He struggled. And I've said this before, I'll say it again. So did Owen Tippett in the early stages of the Chuck Fletcher deal. And it was like, he's always there, but why isn't it executing? He's always around the blue paint. The puck's always finding his stick. But why aren't we actually netting it? Why aren't we actually putting it past the goal line? Why can't Owen Tippett have 8 goals by now? This was at the time of the trade. And then he starts to become a weapon. Tyson Forster is starting to become a weapon. And Torts trusts him all over the ice. It's amazing. It really is amazing how he's able to play the game as well as he does, even without the puck, in the defense. Just in general, I am very impressed with the whole package of Tyson Forster so far. And now that he's starting to score, yeah, I mean, it's incredible. It's incredible. I do get frustrated, though. I'd be lying if I said that I don't get annoyed when I think that he's in the high slot and he rips while he misses the net, or, you know, he could be going high glove and he ends up going far pad. That's probably never actually. No, goal scorers don't do that. That was a horrible example. I'm the only douchebag out there that looks for far pad when I'm entering a zone. Jesus Christ. Yeah, no, Tyson Forster's trying to rip it. But really, all jokes aside, you know, if he tries to go bar down and then he ends up missing the top of the crossbar by an inch and then it hits the glass and, you know, you don't get any sort of potential rebound, whatever. I've seen it many times where I'm like, Forster, oh! Well, now Forster's just locked and loaded and he can pull off goals like that. Oh, man. You beat the Tampa Bay Lightning. You needed to beat the Tampa Bay Lightning. You scored 3 goals in a 7-minute span in the third period. Cooch only played 12 minutes, which I thought was interesting when looking at some of the time. But, yeah, I mean, look, Tampa pulled the goalie with a lot of time left. You look up at the clock, you go, what? And then they're still able to be effective for a little bit. They actually do score one, but then you get your empty netters after a couple icings. Cam York scored one from Narnia. He threw a little sauce wrist shot action from essentially the entire length of the ice. That ended up going in, which was solid, and you kind of shut the doors down. And I think you battled adversity there because it's not easy to hang around for 8-9 minutes or so and wait for everything to get back up. And then there was some weirdness going on with the Jumbotron, with the music, with the audio, with the referees' microphones, with this, with that. It can throw you out of your comfort zone, and that's to be said for both teams. But you were the one that were able to handle it better. You were the one that was able to thrive with, what, 1 period to go? It was a greasy game. We got 20 miles, boys. 20 miles, 20 smiles. We find a way here to win 20 minutes, and we are playing Squirtle in the locker room. You want to hear that dance? You want to hear that song? You want to party in the showers? Damn it. Well, you better get that dub, all right? 20 minutes to do it. And then the first 7 minutes of the period, they go out there and bang with the huge search. I guess they wanted to hear, boom, I don't blame them. I want to hear it too. Wow. I need more coffee. Give me a second. Oh, yeah. Now, why did I just sound like the Kool-Aid man? I have no idea. All right, my bad, everybody. Let's go to the phones. I had to stop the show. I got a very important phone call. I had to take that, but now we're back. Let's go to Ryan from Tampa to kick things off with the Anytime Hotline. What do you got to say for us, Ryan?
Hey, bros. It's your good friend Ryan from Tampa. How fitting to beat the Tampa Bay Lightning tonight. Really proud of this team, the resiliency they've shown going down with the Rangers and then the Pens, it just shows the resiliency of this team, and that's a huge win at home against a really good team. It's going to be great now. We got some time off before play the Caps coming up, and that's going to be important in terms of getting everybody healthy. But, wow, just the supporting cast tonight and really came alive in the third. You can't beat it. So looking forward to next game and good vibes, and it's going to be interesting. We'll see what happens with the deadline coming up. Really excited for this team. Can't wait for that playoff run. Let's go Flyers.
Thanks, Ryan. I appreciate it. Yeah, I can't wait to see how this deadline stuff goes, too. Now there's all these rumors and reports about Sean Walker or the combination of Sean Walker and Nick Seeler, and I've been watching from a distance. I don't, really get into, well, I'm hearing that maybe it's both this and that, and, I keep my eyes on it all, but this is such a unique position to be in with Danny B and Keith Jones that I'm sort of in wait-and-see mode, and that's normally not the case. I like to project. I like to bring up hypotheticals. Well, if they do this or if they do that, and we've sprinkled that in over the shows over the last few weeks. But, I'm just sort of in a wait-and-see mode more than anything else. And I'm not a huge time-on-ice guy every single night, but knowing you're down Jamie Drysdale, knowing you're down Travis Konechny, the fact that you could win a game against the Tampa Bay Lightning, and trust me, I'm not telling you every shift was amazing or every play that I saw was great, because that is definitely not the case. Sometimes I do wonder with Zamula, in what world was that? But I digress. He did play almost 20 minutes. He played 18 minutes and 50 seconds. 18 minutes and 50 seconds for Zamula. Mark Stahl logging in 15 minutes. Mark Stahl is not very good. All right, Mark Stahl doesn't have much left in the tank. So for you to have to rely on these pieces and these players, out the fourth down, he had one hit. One hit. That was his stat line in 2 block shots, though. I can't discredit the 2 block shots. And an assist. Shame on me. And an assist, although it's got to be an empty netter, right? That had to be the empty netter, right? Let's look at the final here. That had to have been the empty netter, right? When did Mark Stahl pop in that? Oh, no, it was Bobby Brinks. He got the secondary assist on the Bobby Brinks. I'm a bad guy. Because I'm going to go watch that replay right now, because obviously the only thing I remember is Bobby Brink lighting the lamp beautifully. So let's take a look at this Bobby Brink play and see if I should be given credit for a beautiful flip pass or outlet pass, because I should be. Here he is. Just gets... That's all I did my whole career. My whole career was what Mark Stahl just did, and here I am just flipping him the double bird while talking about the game. I mean, I got to be giving this guy way more credit. Way more credit. Jesus. In what world? I'm a bad guy. I apologize. Oh, man, shame on me. I'm disgusted with myself. It's a hell of a play. Hell of a fucking play. That needs to get way more credit. Jesus Christ. All right, let's go to Sean.
Solid workmanlike performance by the Flyers tonight, at least for the first and the third period. The second period, they took off. And there's no doubt in my mind that intermission, even with one good arm in hand, that Tortorella was chucking things against walls and dropping quite a few F-bombs, because that effort just wasn't there. But in the third period, they took advantage of the fact that Andre Vasilevsky channeled his inner Cal Peterson.
Oh.
But, hey, credit to the Flyers. I mean, that's a team that they never beat. You know, they faced adversity this weekend with 2 tough losses and came back and got 2 big points. Anytime coming down the stretch, you can get 2 points, especially against some of the better teams in the league. Tip your hat to the Flyers. Job well done tonight.
You're right about the logo, though. Whenever you see that Tampa Bay logo, you normally run away pretty scared because, well, you're going to get slapped, right? It's probably going to end poorly. There's something about them being a juggernaut that scares the Flyers every time that there is a matchup. But not tonight, damn it! That's what they were saying prior to puck drop. Okay, so all jokes aside, there was something to be said about the fear in the upcoming schedule. Well, they have to face Tampa. They have to face Florida. They have to face this team. They have to face that team. And they're not going to win every single game that comes up on their schedule. I'm not claiming that. But they could beat good teams. They could beat good teams. They are a good team. They are. So we have to recognize that just because there's talent on the other side, and I know the Flyers aren't the most scared team in the world, or I'm sorry, when you're another team and you look at your schedule and see the Flyers, they're not going to react like, oh man, we're facing the Philadelphia Flyers tonight, the same way you would if you were going into Boston and playing the Bruins in the Garden, or, if you're facing when the Tampa Bay Lightning were in more of their prime, where you had to go face Tampa. It's not like that. There is, though, something to be said about knowing Torts is on their bench, and it's going to be a grind. Like, oh, geez, man, that forecheck's going to be heavy. Or, oh, man, those kids aren't going to stop going 1,000% because Torts will bench their ass if they don't. It's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a one that probably makes you fatigued afterwards, and you're huffing and puffing during intermission, and it's the second period. Yo, hey! You're calling for water because you're nonstop dehydrated. Like, yeah, it's going to be a battle in those corners forever. So it's not to the level of excellence, greatness. Oh, geez, we have to see Steven Stamkos in his prime. But it is brutal, and there's something to be said about that. The Flyers are a good team. The Flyers are a good team, even without Konechny and Drysdale. Can it live like this forever? No. But I'm not asking for this to live forever. I do expect Travis Konechny at some point here to get back on track. Though there was a tweet, actually, that the Flyers put out in regards to a couple injuries. Rasmus Ristolainen was on that one, and I guess right now I'm just chalking it up to I'll see it when I believe it in regards to whatever is next for Rasmus Ristolainen. We know how wonky it can get with defensemen in town. Seriously, Jesus. I know that there's a lot of correlation between that and what happened with our big acquisition from Nashville, Ryan Ellis. I see a lot of connections being made on Twitter. All right, injury updates per Flyers GM Danny Briere. Defenseman Jamie Drysdale is week to week with upper body. He'll be reevaluated in 2 weeks. Defenseman Rasmus Ristolainen is week to week with an upper body injury, and Travis Konechny is day to day. So it could be a lot worse for Drysdale. I would expect that hopefully we get Konechny back at some point, but they're good enough to hold the fort down with what they currently have for a little bit of time. I do believe that. It can't last forever. As long as they get some penalties and then they're on the penalty kill, then they'll be all right. Who the hell says that? A team who watches the Flyers every night. Hey, before we continue here, let me tell you about my friends over at HelloFresh. What's HelloFresh, you ask? Well, it's farm-fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. Skip trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. That's why HelloFresh is America's #1 meal kit. Listen to this. They say breakfast is the most important meal of the day, right? And HelloFresh agrees. In fact, they're giving all subscribers free breakfast for life. That means you'll enjoy a totally free breakfast item with every single HelloFresh delivery. Now that's worth waking up early for. Also, don't let recipe boredom strike because HelloFresh has more options than ever before. Dig into their biggest menu yet with over 45 dinner options to choose from weekly, and even more market add-on items that suit any lifestyle. Go to HelloFresh.com/BroadsFree, and you can use code BroadsFree for free breakfast for life. One breakfast item per box while your subscription is active. That's free breakfast for life at HelloFresh.com/BroadsFree with code BroadsFree. HelloFresh is America's #1 meal kit. Make sure you check out the information down below and get started. All right, we'll take one more call here. Let's do it.
Bro, that was electric. Actually, by definition, it wasn't electric. I don't know how many people were aware, but the lights were out inside the stadium, which was crazy, and it was dead in there. No music, no nothing. As soon as those lights came on, as soon as the speakers came on in the third period, you saw exactly what happened. The floodgates opened, we cracked the seal, and it was crazy. These boys were fighting hard against a very efficient Tampa Bay team, and they finally broke through. They broke through in a big way. Let's use this. Let's go on a big another 5-game win streak. Let's try not to lose the next 4 afterwards like we've been doing lately. It's been frustrating as hell, but wow, that was electric. That was crazy. Let's use this. Let's get some momentum from this. Let's go.
There's some beatable opponents. That big stretch that everyone's worried about with Toronto, with Boston, with Carolina, that doesn't happen for a little bit of time. You have Washington Friday. On the second half of a back-to-back, you play the Ottawa Senators. The Ottawa Senators here at Philadelphia. So you're in Washington, D.C. You play the following night at home. Not huge travel by any means, but I'm just looking at sort of how it's all laid out. And you play the Blues at home. You can beat those 3 opponents. So, yeah, I'm with you. Let's see what happens. The Blues are coming off of a loss against, well, they have a game before, a couple games, actually. They have 2 games before you actually see the Flyers, but they aren't playing particularly well. They lost to the Jets. They lost to the Red Wings, so they're on a 2-game losing streak, but they lost 4 out of their last 5 games or so, just looking at their most recent results. So, yeah, the Flyers absolutely have this opportunity, looking at them right in the face to feel some fire. And then who knows, by then Konechny's back and he's scoring 2 goals in his return and you're beating the Toronto Maple Leafs. You could beat the Toronto Maple Leafs. You could beat the Toronto Maple Leafs. You fought back pretty insanely the last time you two met. I make a damn statement that ending, that means something. Remember us last time? Remember us? So you start off the first period up 2-0. We're not waiting around. All right, we're not waiting until it's the third period to climb back and show you our worth. We're starting it right from the rip here. Maybe Delorier drops the mitts. Just spitballing. Just spitballing. Get me a little fired up. It's dangerous when that happens. I need another cup of coffee, though. So we got to end things so I can go make one. I love you guys to death. You know that. I appreciate you. Fly Guys, big one through the power outage. Electric. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you all so much. You know that. Love you to death. And I will see you all on the next one.